So yeah, this is River Shot over the center path, and I kind of got a kick out of this picture right here. It's the Zen saying of chop wood and carry water. Now there's a couple actually things in this that I added in, and this is part of the paradox video of nirvana being the same as samsara, and I wanted to kind of explain a couple things. So. Chop wood and carry water before enlightenment and chop wood and carry water after enlightenment is a Zen saying. And what it means is, so we can get an idea of this, is, you have mundane and regular things to do, and you work on doing those, and they can be a pain in the ass and something you don't want to do, and you have all these attachment and these judgments of them and all this stuff. That's before enlightenment, right? And then you work at enlightenment, you do some meditation, and you really understand things, and then you still have to chop wood and carry water. But then it's just chopping wood and carry water. Actually, there was a before Zen, about the 8th century, in China, there was a famous Chinese master, I think it's Qingyuan Weixin, and he describes 3 stages, actually, in that. And he says, I saw mountains as mountains when I started, right? I would look up and I would see mountains as mountains and trees as trees. And then as you start to get into it and you start to study and you start to really get your head around some things and get it all knotted up, the trees are no longer trees and the mountains are no longer mountains. And things kind of like, we lose that duality a little bit, right? Because that's the big thing we're talking about. Duality is I'm separate and these things are separate and everything's separate from me and all this kind of jazz. But then as you become further, you'll have these understandings of non-duality, and eventually the trees become trees again and the mountains become mountains again, but we're all part of the same thing. It's a little bit of mental gymnastics sometimes, but that's kind of the idea of this. The other one part of this story too is that, where do you start? Like there's an old story of a man who's walking to find this temple, and he comes to this little town, and he's walking, and he stops and he asks a woman, he says, "Hey, do you know where this temple is? How long will it take me to get there?" And she goes back to doing what she's doing, and she's not actually telling him. He's like, "Well, why didn't you say anything? I asked you a question." She says, "Because you're just standing there. How am I going to know how long it's going to take you if you're not moving?" So you have to be like, it's one of those little quippy kind of teachings. So just wanted to clarify a little bit of the other video. You can go down to this side down here and click for subscribe, and I do a lot of videos. You can look back at some of them. I have a lot of different hairdos and stuff like that, but I do a lot of different videos to explain basic Buddhism in everyday life. And here we're just going over chopping wood and carrying water, which, we have to do things like go to the market and go to the bank or go to work and wash the dishes, stuff like that. Same thing, right? Same kind of thing. And also same kind of thing, I did another video where we talked about my very first assignment as a minister by a Buddhist priest, by a monk, where I was making lemonade. So anyway, this is Reverend Sean of the Center Path. I enjoy these things. This is just little information to kind of contemplate, think about, bring into your consciousness, see the world for what it is and not get all tangled up in it. Take care. Bye.